Hey gamers, I am CyberSnake7. Hope we're all well, guys. Back again with another video, and this is a VR to the one and only 16-bit brothers. They hit upon a subject I'm pretty familiar with, and I've talked about this old chestnut a few times over the years in videos that I've done, and they're talking about collecting goals and collecting habits, which I do like to talk about. So the guys talked about their collecting goals for the future. So I thought I'd stick my 2p in and give you an insight to what I'm doing, and what my goals are, and also, you know, a little history of my collecting habits and what I'm still collecting for, really. So let's start from my goals for collecting into the near future. Well, obviously the main one, if you haven't watched my channel, I've been doing this little collection behind me, which is my Man versus Master System, trying to get the 269 full set of PAL games, and I have now hit 210. I've got a new 10 to show in the next week or so to add to the collection, so that will be 59 games for the collection to go. So I'm doing very well with that, and that's one thing about me. As I say, if you haven't watched the channel, if I say something, I actually stick to what I'm going to say, and I'm doing it 110%. I'm in all the way. If I say I'm going to collect for something, I say I'm going to reach my goal, I will reach that goal. How long that may take, you know, is anybody's guess, to be honest. But as I say, I've been doing this for a couple of years, so, you know, it hasn't been a fast progression. It's been an on-off one. I did have a few months off because, you know, you can only take so much of collecting for one system, and it like kind of drives you around the bend, if you want the honest truth. I was sick of picking up Master System games, but it's just part and parcel of collecting. But I've got back on track. I'm doing very well with that collection now. So I'm really still enjoying collecting for it, and my goal is on target to finish this 259 games PAL set for the Master System, so that's definitely going to happen. Also, I've gone back into the MVS and AES Neo Geo scene a little bit, to be honest. More so the MVS because it's a system I've picked up of recent. I've had one a few months now, beginning of the year. And it's a system, as I say, the AES has always been in my collection, but it's been a very slow progress with them games because, as many people know, the games are quite cheap to pick up, but also very expensive to pick up. And in terms of what I wanted, like the Metal Slug series, and there's a fair few fighters and shooting collections, I decided to go for the MVS side of things because it is cheaper. That is the case. It is cheaper, but sometimes it's still quite expensive. You know, you're talking in some into the hundreds for some games still. But in the long run, I think it's still cheaper overall. The only true collection that I'm going for in terms on the AES is my full set of King of the Fighters games, Japanese editions, which I've just recently picked one up, and that leaves me now 2 to finish off the set. So I'm looking forward to finish those off. In terms of future game pickups for the AES system, I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go. It'd be more so for the MVS because, as I say, I've decided to pick one of these up at the beginning of the year, and I'm going for the shooter set that is actually on that system, and I'm doing quite well. I've picked up some big hitters straight away. I've got another 3 to show, and then another 3 which are on their way. So, you know, there's plenty of MVS goodness coming your way. Not all of them are shooters, I've got to admit, because there are a few fighting games that I do want for the MVS system. Hence, yet again, they are very pricey, and I think it's the best way to pick these games up, because, as I say, you buy them loose cartridge and you can pick up a really nice fancy shop box, and it really does look the part on the shelf. So yeah, I'm definitely into the MVS and the AES. Not so much the AES because obviously of the price issue. It's just the King of the Fighters games that I want to really finish off. But apart from that, I've had a stint and gone back into the modern console arena. Yep, I've started picking up a few titles for the PS4. Yes, it's been long-winded, and I've had that system for a good couple of years, and I've done videos in the past. I fell out of love with the system, and I've just been sitting and waiting for certain games to appear on the system to justify me owning that system, to be honest. And of late, I have picked up a few titles for that system, which I may do a video for. But I think I'm quite glad I've actually got some sort of gaming goodness for the PS4, because, as I say, it's just been a wasted system for the past 2 years for me. Nothing really has hit home. As I say, I've done a video about this and what my thoughts were on it. But it's good to see brand new gaming goodness coming out for that system, and hopefully it'll kick in towards the end of this year with the other big titles coming out for the system. And as I say, I'm glad I've got the system up and running and some decent titles for it. So yes, the PS4 is having a good warm up, and you know, as I say, I've got a few games for that which I will show in a later video. Also, what do I collect for still? Of course, I still collect for my NTSC Super Nintendo. That has definitely slowed down the pace now, because that has reached a point where I've got a lot of games that I really want in the collection. But there are a lot of games, I wouldn't say a lot, but there are a few games that I really want to add to that collection. But they are, as we all know, very costly. Super Nintendo, whether it be PAL, whether it be NTSC, even the Super Famicom, the prices are shooting up dramatically day after day. You know what I mean? So it's a collection I'll always adore, always love, and always collect for. No matter how slow the progression. It's the same as a Famicom. I always collect for the Super Famicom, and I always collect for the NTSC Super Nintendo. Definitely two systems I will always collect for. But as I say, I've realistically taken a break from collecting for the NTSC. Apart from a trade that I did recently, I picked up one NTSC title which I showed in one of my Blackpool vids. But yes, I've had a break from that. You know, it's not gone away. It's always there, and it always will be a big part of my collecting. The NTSC Super Nintendo and the Famicom. The Wii, I'll just pick up as is. I do like the system, the Wii U. I really do like the system. As I say, you know, I'm not picking anything and everything up for it. I'm just picking up the games that appeal to me and have value in the collection, where I know full well I'm going to play the things instead of just buying them to sit there and gather dust. So that is a slow progression, but I do like the way I collect for the Wii. It's just enough for me to cope with and to sit down and play whenever I want to. I do have a little sideline collection in terms of Nintendo, which I have not yet shown. And there's been a lot of people out there that have tried with this collection and failed with this collection and give up on it. But, you know, as I am talking to you now about it, there will be a video hopefully soon. All depends on what happens this week, put it that way. Because I am waiting for a new delivery of Z items, and I'm just seeing whether this company that I've ordered them from fulfill my order. Because if they don't, then I'll be another one who will be giving up on this collection, because I know there are some people who have bought from this company and they've been let down in terms of orders wise. So I am not holding my breath. But either way, whatever the case may be, if I do manage to fulfill my orders, there will be a video up of what I'm talking about. And I think most of you probably know what I'm talking about, because there's been a lot of talk about these items over the past few months and the craziness and the craze for them. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, guys, that's it for me. You know, I do have Mega Drive titles for the Japanese system, but they are far and few between. I just pick them up when I do want them. Same as Genesis titles. I don't fairly pick up a lot of PAL titles anymore. It's more so Japanese and the Genesis, because I do like those. Apart from that, everything else has just slowed down. It's just got to a point with my collecting. We've all been there. We've all done that. We start off, we want anything and everything, and we pick up a lot of things during our collecting career, if you want to call it. But I think we live and learn. I think YouTube and the people I've watched have definitely influenced me over the years. There's no two ways about that. They have made my collections or my collecting better, 100% better. And the way I go about it and the way I understand collecting now. I think I'm in a better place for it. There's no two ways about it. I have got rid of a hell of a lot of things, but it's been all for the good, because it's give me the space, for one, because I haven't got that much space in this room, to be honest with you. But it's also give me a realistic idea of how I want to collect and what I want to collect for. I have moved up onto bigger and better things. There's no two ways about that. You know, it's not an average collector's thing that I do. Collecting, obviously, for the AES and MVS and the Super Nintendo, it's not an easy thing to collect for. I will agree, you know, with that. Especially being box to complete, it's not an easy task for a lot of people. But you know, I think it's, in a sense, by doing what I'm doing and collecting the way I'm collecting, I think it's slowed me down, which is a good thing, because one, it makes me appreciate the games that I buy a hell of a lot more. I get into the game, I get to play the game and enjoy the game, and then I can think about buying a new game, because the games that I'm buying of recent are quite expensive, and I do have to save quite hard for these games. It makes me want to sit down and appreciate and get more money's worth out of each game that I buy now, which is only understandable. That's what we're here for. You know, I don't just want to collect. You know, them days I just wanted to collect and stick it on the shelf are over for me. I just want to collect the things that I most enjoy, collect the genre of game, the certain system that I know I'm going to play, I know I'm going to enjoy and sit down and have a good few hours on, or whatever the case may be. I don't want to be picking anything up that I'm just going to buy specifically to stick on the shelf. Yes, we're all looking at this, and I do have a lot of fillers on there, but it's a goal, and it's a goal I'm going to stick to. And once I've got this full collection, I'm never going for another full collection. It's just the way it is. It's just a goal that I wanted. I wanted a full collection of a system, and this was by far the easiest way and the route to go. And plus, it's a system I never really appreciated when I was younger. So to get this collection behind me now and appreciate it now is, I think I've enjoyed it more as an adult than I would have as a kid. There's no two ways about that. But that's it, guys. That's me in a nutshell. As for people who's starting out to collect, you know, as I said before, we're all going to go through this process of like finding our feet on what we really want to collect for. And that is the most important thing for me to tell you. When you're collecting, make sure you really understand what you want, whether it be nostalgia based, whether it be a system you've never thought of, you've never played before. Research a hell of a lot on systems. Do research on systems. Find out what kind of games there are for it, whether it be the right genre for you: fighting, shooting, adventure, RPG, whatever the case may be. Understand the system, understand the collection that is actually on that system, and then, you know, that's the way I go about it. You know, unless you want a few systems and you want a collection for a few systems, fair play. I mean, I've been quite lucky. I grew up at the right time when, you know, computers came out from the Commodore 64. I've seen them all the way through to the PS4. So I've done quite well. So I've experienced a lot of systems through the past. So I've juggled around with my systems. I've had everything, and I've only got in the collection now the systems that I really know I'm going to play and I'm going to enjoy. As with the games as well, it's got to the point where everything I've got in this collection, it's here because it wants to be, and I want it to be. And I know I'm going to thoroughly enjoy each and every game that I've got. So, as I say, I'll finish off, guys, by saying, enjoy your collections, whatever your collections are. Whatever you collect, everybody's different. Every channel, every person has a different goal in collecting. But all I say to you is collect well. Enjoy that collection you get, but don't ever go overboard and don't get yourself into silly situations, because I've done it myself, and there's probably no doubt other people within this community who have got themselves into silly situations and overdone it and got themselves into situations where they can't afford anything but games. So that's another issue and that's another story. But just be careful with your collecting, enjoy your collecting, and make sure you collect what you're actually wanting to collect, and make sure you're going to enjoy each and every game that you have on your shelf. So guys, that's my little VR, I wouldn't just say just a talk about collecting in general. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, I am CyberSnake7. Keep playing, keep watching. All the best.